All right, guys. Good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday, and welcome to our Working with Renters training. This is Robert here with Elite Ocean View Realty. Guys, this training is for you. It's for all elite agents, new and experienced. We're going to go through the entire process of what we should do when we're working with renters. I've prepared a very interesting course for you. We are going to talk about the procedures of working with a lead that you may have received, or even if it's not your lead, we're going to go through the entire process as well. All right, guys. So we're going to begin obviously recognizing the fact that there are new agents that are part of our team. Welcome all new agents, and then all experienced agents, welcome back to our training. Okay. When we work with a rentor, there's several process or procedures that we need to take into account when you're working with a renter. Of course, you need to talk to them, see exactly what they're looking for, send them properties through the MLS, schedule to go see properties. Once you're seeing the property with them, you also want to make sure that they have available proof of income, 3 months proof of income, whether it's banking statements or pay stubs, because that's usually what they're asking for. You want to make sure that you have access to the Elite rental application. And if you don't, you can always email me, or you can email Help Center. That's elitehelpcenter@gmail.com, and they'll send you a rental application. You also want to make sure that you have a tenant screening performed. So those of you that have never screened a tenant, we'll show you today how you can get that done. And then, of course, you want to make sure that you fill out the contract to lease, the CTL. And we'll show you exactly where to go and how to fill out a CTL. All right, so let's begin with the entire process of when we receive leads through Elite Ocean View Realty. All right, guys, you guys will always receive emails that look like this, right? From our office, and it's going to give you information on these leads. These are people that are actively looking to rent or buy, but in this case, rent a property. These are warm leads. These are not cold calls. You're calling people that are actively on our website or on other websites where we may have advertising, and we capture these leads and we send them to you. Now, of course, as an elite agent, you receive these and you decide which area is best for you, and you want to go ahead and make the phone call. Realize there are a lot of elite agents who may be working the leads as well. Okay. So when you make the phone call, the procedure is to connect with the lead, right? So you cannot claim the lead within the first 5 or 10 seconds of a phone call. It needs to be an entire minute or so of a phone call before you take the screenshot on your phone. You guys are all part of the Elite group chat on WhatsApp, and you know exactly how it works. So at least a minute into the phone call, whether you're leaving a voicemail, talking to the lead, or already engaged in a text communication with the lead or in an email conversation with the lead, you want to provide proof that you are now in contact with this person and you want to claim the person. Now, you may see there are several leads that are interested in the same property. And that's, of course, done on purpose, guys. We're trying to capture these leads. We're trying to get these leads to to work with us. So if 8233 Harding Avenue is no longer available, then ask the person if they would like to see 5 or 6 other properties in the same building or in the area. And of course, ask them for their email and start to convert them into your client. Begin to talk to them, begin to send them other properties that may be available. So just because one property that they are interested in is no longer available doesn't mean that you're going to fail. You need to convert these into clients. Okay. So again, the procedure is to call them, engage in a conversation, whether it be voice or text or email, and upload the proof that you have engaged in a conversation with them into the WhatsApp group chat. And that's going to allow you to claim the lead, and no one else should call the lead. Now, if two elite agents are talking to the same person at the same time, then of course we need to discuss who got to the person first, and we should be courteous to our teammates. If in the event that it was like a 1 minute thing where between 1 minute both agents communicated with the lead. Okay. Anyways, you guys see how it's done on the group chat. You guys are all very good. You guys are all very professional. We thank you and we appreciate you. All right, we're going to continue to provide you leads daily. There's absolutely no reason why we should not already be practicing with our leads, guys. Don't be afraid. Remember Teo in one of the meetings, I believe it was last Monday, he was asking some of the newer agents, just don't be afraid. Get your feet wet, get in there and start talking to these leads. All right. So right away, when a lead asks you about a property and you go to the MLS and you search the property and the property is available, then you're going to go down here to the broker remarks and you're going to see if there's any kind of showing instructions in the broker remarks. If there isn't, then you want to go down here to the showing instructions and it says call listing agent. So in this case, you are going to call the listing agent and you're going to schedule to see the property with your client. In the event that they tell you that the property is on showing assist, then you want to come up here and see if the showing assist symbol is available. In this case, it is not available. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and show you maybe another property where showing assist is available. So let me go ahead and I'm looking through our rentals here. All right, so here's another property where the showing assist icon or the showing time icon is available. So this is very simple. If it's available, they probably want you to use showing assist. See here, vacant, easy to show, call listing agent, but also they've made available this little feature right here. So you click on it. You're going to come down here. You're going to click on schedule a single showing. And then the what's available is in white. What's not available is in black. So they have made this available starting Wednesday at, I want to say 10:15 in the morning. You're able to begin scheduling and showing. So all you need to do, guys, is choose a date and time and then confirm, right, that you'd like to show it by clicking on request appointment. Notice up here it says this listing does not accept appointment overlaps. All right, and it also says appointment required, wait for confirmation. If it says appointment required, wait for confirmation, you are going to wait for the realtor to confirm. From experience, guys, after you request the appointment, you may want to send a text message or call the listing agent and let them know that you have requested an appointment through showing time for them to please confirm. If it tells you up here, go and show, right? No appointment required, go and show. That pretty much means that the property is vacant and maybe on a lockbox, whether it's the combination lockbox or a super lockbox. If it's on super lockbox, then you're going to use your super key from your phone, the app, the super e key, and you're going to open the lockbox with your super e key. If it is on a combination lockbox, then most definitely when you request the appointment and it is confirmed, they will let you know what the combination number is to that lockbox on the confirmation. All right. So let me go ahead and show you. I do have a confirmation here from an appointment that I made. All right, right here. And you'll see here that it says Super iBox. So I will show this property using my Super E key. If this were on a combination lockbox, then right here in the access details, it'll tell you combination code is 1234. All right. So let's go back over here to Matrix, guys. That is how you schedule to see the property. And then, of course, you're going to let your renter know that we're going to meet at this property tomorrow at 10 a.m. Once you meet with your renter, this is the first time that you're meeting with the renter. Okay. Start to make friends with them, start to talk to them and see what their needs are. And then if they like the property or they like to continue to see more properties, prepare them. Let them know that they need to start sending you a copy of their photo identification. They need to send you proof of income. So either 3 banking statements or 3 months of pay stubs. Also, let them know that they need to fill out a rental application and that you are going to be sending them a tenant screening request. Now, what services can we use as Miami Realtor members to get a tenant screening? Now, these are full tenant screenings that include a credit background check and also a criminal background check. Now, a lot of you may have your favorites. I'll tell you which one is my favorite. My favorite is Landlord Station. Landlord Station provides us as a Miami member, which we are all members of Miami. It provides us 1 free tenant screening per month. All right, so we don't have to pay for 1 tenant screening each month. We're given 1 for free. Any other tenant screening that month, it's going to be at a $28 charge. Okay, you can either pay for the tenant screening for your tenant, or you can request the tenant to pay for the screening. In most cases, you want to request the tenant to pay for the screening. Landlord Station will then send a request over to your tenant. They're going to fill out the important details, such as their social security number, and answer any important questions that will be asked in order to verify their identity. And then a report will be sent to you, the agent, and a report will be sent to your landlord, to them, to the tenant themselves. All right, so there's a question in the chat.
Hey, Robert, Derek Malone here. Quick question. Is it just common sense when we get their proof of payment and bank stubs on ratio to how much the rent is? Is there any like parameters that we're looking at? Because what if they're wanting, they're not making that much, but they want to look at these properties that are more? What do we do then?
Well, are they going to have multiple renters or maybe a co-signer that can, you know, support them on the rent? I mean, I totally get it. If you're making $6,000 a month and you're trying to rent something that's 4,000 a month, that's probably not going to work.
Yep,
And
that's what I'm wondering.
it's really up to the landlord's discretion. As agents, we cannot turn them down. We can guide
Gotcha.
them. We can guide them and let them know, hey, look, the standard is like 49% of your income should go towards rent, which really it isn't. It should be somewhere around a third of their income. But
Okay.
being that we're in South Florida and the rental market being how it is, I've seen people accept 49% of their income going towards rent. Of course, it helps to have multiple renters, husband, wife, or just partners that are going to rent and pay. All right.
Okay, that
If
helps. Thank
that,
you.
yeah, and if that's not the case, ask them to get a co-signer. I mean, if they truly believe that they're gonna pay the rent, no matter, I mean, that's the first thing they'll pay, which should always be the case, right?
Right.
Then try and get a co-signer, someone who's going to be on the lease with them, and they have adequate income as well. Right? A co-signer cannot be a 21-year-old child who's like making 21-year-old money. I just don't think that that's gonna work, but who knows? All right. So let's go ahead and continue. So Landlord Station is one of my favorites. Now, Rent Spree is a $39 charge, and Rent Spree is also going to provide a full credit check and a criminal background check. Please let your clients know these are soft checks. So they're not applying for a loan. It's not going to hurt their credit. It's not going to reduce their score. It's just like Credit Karma checking your credit. Okay. All right. So Landlord Station and Rent Spree are one of my favorites. Just so you get an idea how easy it is once you are inside of Landlord Station, you're going to go here to where it says tenant screening. All right, you're going to see here that I recently have a tenant accepted. That means that I went through the entire process and they are now approved. So we'll be renting them a property very, very shortly. You're going to go over here where it says order new tenant screening. You're going to click here and you're going to enter the tenant's email address, first and last name. If it's multiple tenants, then you have up to 4 spaces here for the multiple tenants. Down here, you're going to put in here the property that they are renting. You're also going to put in how much the rent is, how much the deposit is, and how long is the lease term. And then I always come over here and I say tenant pays. All right. Tenant pays. If you put in landlord pays, then it's going to ask you for your credit card. All right. So tenant pays, save and review. It's going to ask you to confirm. Once you confirm, then the tenant will receive the email asking them to identify themselves, enter their information, and then, of course, pay for the screening. If this is your first screening in the month, they will get it for free. They do not have to pay. All right. So I have someone raising their hands. Damari, you want to ask a question?
Yes, Robert, good morning. I'm sorry if it's not about this, but I have to begin teaching now. I'm sorry. It's about a Section A. Um, from the last listing that you sent, there is one person, Anna Maximienko. She said she's Section A. I worked once with a Section A, but at the end I didn't, it didn't go through. How do we do the background check for this person? I mean, the income, because she doesn't work. She told me, I don't work. Yes, I know, Section A. And, she took me 12 minutes over the phone.
All right, so Section 8 will pay for the rent. Okay, Section
Yes.
8 will pay. So the
But
landlord will see that Section 8 will pay for the rent. It really is up to the landlord whether they want to accept the tenant
yes.
or not. We are going to always work with anyone, whether it's Section 8
Yes,
or regular renter.
not
So
we can discriminate, but um
you have
okay,
to,
what about the
you
the
have
income?
you have to submit the last 3 banking.
About
You have to let the landlord choose. You have to ask
okay,
your tenant to provide you the last 3 banking statements, and you have to let the landlord choose whether they approve it or not. Okay?
okay. What about the association?
The what? I'm sorry?
The association, sorry.
Same thing. You gotta submit all the paperwork. It's completely out of your hands. As realtors, we're gonna represent our tenant to the best of our ability, and we're gonna submit all the required documentation. And then you have to let the association do their background check, and you have to let the association either approve or deny the tenant.
Okay.
Okay?
Like for everybody,
Right. That is for
correct?
everyone. That is for everyone, whether it's Section 8 or not. When you're doing a condo association, when you're going through a condo association or a townhome association, they have to interview, not interview, but they're going to screen your tenant and they're going to submit an approval or not. I'll tell you, the landlord approves it, the association is going to approve it too. All right. The first person to approve it is the landlord. They're going to sign your contract to offer or your CTL, your contract to lease. They're going to sign it, and you should get an approval from the association as well.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Robert.
You're welcome. You're welcome. All right, guys. So landlord station, that is how you order tenant screening. Same thing on Rent Spree. Rent Spree, you're just going to click on start a screening request. You're going to enter the information for your tenant and you're going to then hand it over to the tenant. please make sure you call your tenant, let them know to be on the lookout for an email from either Landlord Station or RentSpree, whichever one that you use. And they need to continue with their tenant screening. All right, we cannot do it for them. Okay. Now, there are other services like my rental tenant screening. That's another service that you guys can use to do a tenant screening. So I advise you guys to go in here, get familiar with all three of these. And once you're familiar, then choose one. Again, my favorite is Landlord Station simply because we do get one tenant screening for free per month. So you can't really beat that. Okay. All right. I'm going to close out my tenant screening apps. We no longer need them. So I'm going to close these out. And then the next step, of course, is to go to form simplicity, right? Your client likes the property, they want to place an offer on the property, and we need to open up form simplicity so we can write up the offer. So right here, we're going to notice above any listing, the FS symbol, form simplicity. We're going to click there, and it's going to open up the transaction right away. Okay. And for seller landlord name, you're going to have to look up who the landlord is. So for that, we're going to go back to Matrix, and you see the little dollar symbol, that's Realist, and the little I symbol, that's IMAP. Either one of these, all right, is going to open up public record, and you're going to be able to, all right, forgive me on this because I'm using the new IMAP and it always messes up. So let's try this again. All right, so you're going to always be able to find out who the owner is. So in this case, here's the owner. I'm just going to go ahead and copy the owner name like this. All right, and we're going to return over to form simplicity, and we're going to place the owner's landlord name here. Okay. Next up, you're going to come down here and you're going to put in a purchase price. So what is the purchase price? So it is rented at what? $2,800 a month. Let's go ahead and offer $2,800 a month. All right. Next up, you're going to put in whoever your buyer tenant is. So let's go ahead and put in my favorite buyer of all or renter of all time, Michael Jordan. All right, and then underneath you have your information. You're going to click on save to a transaction. And here we're going to name our transaction the same as the address. And then I normally put in a little space, a little hyphen there, and I put in Michael Jordan as my client. And that's usually how I name my transaction in Form Simplicity. You guys can do differently if you like. Property type, residential. Transaction type, lease rental. Okay, we're going to click on save to a new transaction. And now you're ready to add the CTL, the contract to lease. Okay, if you guys look in your chats, I'm about to share with you a rental procedure document that I created that helps you understand the procedures on working with a renter. And I also included a template of how to fill out the contract to lease. So here it goes, and I'm sending it right now. So in your chats right now, you should have a PDF called Rental Procedures. Go ahead and download that to your computer. And if you cannot download it right now because you're on your phone or some reason you cannot download it, please reach out to me, and I'd be more than happy to send you this rental procedure document. All right. We're going to come here to where it says add forms package, right? We are not going to work from blank forms. Elite Ocean View Realty has prepared packages for you. It is important that you come here, you click on lease, and then you're going to select the contract to lease. We're going to go ahead and select add to a transaction. That's all you need to do. confirm right here. And we now have the contract to lease that is part of our transaction. Now we're going to learn how to prepare the contract to lease, guys. It's very simple. It's on the rental procedures that I just sent you via the chat. So we're going to go ahead and open up the contract to lease. You're going to see the landlord name here. You're going to also see Michael Jordan as the tenant. This lease is to be executed, or this contract to lease is to be executed no later than 3 business days or 3 days. It all depends on how urgent this is for your tenant. So we are right now on April 23rd. We're going to go ahead and give them 2 days. So April 25th. All right. If you leave it in blank, it usually means 3 days, I believe. All right. No, doesn't mean 3 days. It just don't leave it in blank. All right. Right here where it says deposit, the deposit's going to be how much? $2,800. Now, folks, if you represent a tenant whose credit score is, it's a low credit score, but they have high income, then how you can make the contract and the offer more attractive to the landlord is by offering an additional month's deposit. Of course, you want to start right away just offering the 1-month deposit. But again, if your tenant has maybe been turned down before and they're struggling, or maybe they don't have credit, maybe they're a foreign tenant and you need to get them approved, one of the ways to do this is to offer an additional month deposit. So now they're going to be holding 2 months deposit, and that's usually more appealing and attractive to the landlord. Okay. It's really up to you and your tenant whether you get that done. Now, the $2,800 deposit will be paid out to Elite Ocean View Realty upon acceptance of the contract to lease. You do not have to collect a deposit prior to agreement, right? Prior to having this signed. So you guys can go shopping and you can place offers. Once the CTL or contract to lease is accepted, then a deposit in the amount of $2,800 is to be written to Elite Ocean View Realty. We are going to hold the escrow, and you're going to bring the check to either our Miami Beach office or our Coral Gables office, put it on an envelope, write the property address, write your name, and write escrow deposit. Okay, you're going to send this contract to lease to Elite Help Center at gmail.com. Elite Help Center at gmail.com. You're also going to copy myself, my email. That's robertr.miami@gmail.com. It's all inside of the rental procedures document that I sent you. Okay. And let them know that you now need an escrow letter. They are going to ask you for an escrow letter. Okay. The landlord agent is going to make sure that you provide an escrow letter that you indeed have collected escrow and that you are holding escrow. Okay. All right. Moving on down here. Who else is going to occupy the property besides the person that is on the contract? So if Michael Jordan is the sole person to be on the contract, but he wants his kids to also occupy the property, then right here, you're going to put in their kids' names, and you can put in parentheses, minor child. If they're not minors and they are over the age of 18 or 18 and over, then you're going to also need a screening for each of those that are going to be living at the property. above the age of 18. Anyone living at the property, whether they're going to be on the lease or they're just going to be occupants of the property, anyone over the age of 18 needs to be screened. Okay? Is the property furnished or unfurnished? You're going to mark that there. And then when does the lease term begin? All right, you got to be careful. Today's the 23rd. And if you want this lease to begin on May 1st, there's usually a 2 to 3 week association approval period. Yes, we can try and close on May 1st. We can try and get them moved in, but that's a week away. Okay? You want to go here to the MLS listing and you want to see how long it takes the association to approve. 1 to 2 weeks approval. So you know what? They're saying 1 to 2 weeks. So I feel confident that we may be able to get them approved right away. If they tell you 3 to 4 weeks, then you really, you know, you really are going to be short on time getting them approved. Okay. Anyways, May 1st through when? April 30th of next year is going to be the lease period. Right here where it says money due before occupancy, you are not able to touch this. This is going to be the sum of everything that you place down here. So right now it says $95, which is our Elite Ocean View Realty transaction fee. Notice down here. But when we come here, we put in first month's rent is $2,800. Now look, it says $2,895. Let me check real quick here on the MLS listing. And it says here, move-in cost $8,400, and it's going to be first month's rent, last month's rent, and security deposit. All right. The reason why I'm checking this is sometimes they ask you for first month's rent and 2 security deposits. Right? So there's a difference. Here, we're putting up the first month's rent, the last month's rent, and 1 security deposit. So we're going to come back over here and we're going to put in here for last month's rent, $2,800. And then for security deposit, $2,800. Now the first month's rent is due, and I usually write this, upon acceptance of CTL. Okay? And that's usually what I write here. You can write a date, but we don't know what the date's going to be that the CTO will be accepted. So normally, first month's rent, I write upon acceptance of CTO. Last month's rent is going to be due on move-in date, May 1st. Security deposit is going to be due on move-in date, May 1st. The total of $5,600, which is the $2,800 times 2, will be due on May 1st, move-in date, and it will be in form of a cashier's check written to the landlord's name. Not Elite Ocean View Realty, the landlord's name. Okay? Now the $95, I also write upon acceptance of CTL. So we can collect the transaction fee of $95 together with a deposit. So in essence, we're collecting $2,895 upfront. That's going to take care of the transaction fee, and it's going to take care of the commission that will be split between both brokerages. Okay? These 2 amounts right here are going straight to the landlord. This amount right here that will be held in escrow is the commission that will be split between both brokerages working the transaction. And the $95 is going for the Elite transaction fee, which is an administrative fee. If you do not collect the $95, then it will be deducted from your commission. You can also collect a $95 transaction fee at move-in. Just let your tenant know to prepare a check for $95 payable to EliteOceanViewRealty.com. Next up is there an application fee? All right, in most cases there's an app fee here of $150. So we're gonna go ahead and put in here $150. All right, and an application fee usually is done a few days after the acceptance. So let's just say April 30th. You know, by April 30th, we need an app fee. That application fee is usually charged by the association, right? And the association is going to do their study. And let's just call this application fee. All right, so come over here. First month is $2,800. Last month is also $2,800. Security deposit will be, again, $2,800. Come down here where it says rent payments, taxes, and charges. Here, you're going to multiply the $2,800 times the 12-month period. So what is 2,800 times 12? It's 33,600. If your tenant, all right, questions this, please let them know that this says tenant will pay total rent for the lease term of $33,600. It's the total amount that they will pay in a 12-month period. Okay. Then right down here, monthly, it'll be paid monthly on the first day of the month, and then come over here and put in $2,800. Very simple, guys. Are pets prohibited? Yes or no? Go to the MLS, refer to what they say on the MLS. If it is prohibited, then just put in prohibited. If it is allowed, then put in permitted, and then as described, and put in here MLS listing. So permitted as described in the MLS listing. Smoking is usually always prohibited, so let's just leave it like that. Okay. Utilities will be paid by the tenant, except for, and then go to the MLS and see if water and sewer and garbage is paid by the landlord. In most cases, it is in a condo situation, right? It's probably part of the association fees. So you want to put in here whatever the landlord is going to pay as far as utilities. All right, maintenance. Landlord will be responsible for maintenance and repairs of the property, except for usually tenants will swap out the AC filters monthly. Okay. Number 11, association approval. $150 is the association fee. And you want to make sure the association approves at least a day before moving. I mean, we'd like it to be a couple of days before moving, but at least a day before moving. Number 12, any additional terms that you'd like to add to the contract to lease, put it in there. Number 14, service member status. Is your tenant a veteran? You know, have they served in the military? No or yes. All right, mark it. And lastly, down here, you'll see your name. You'll see our company. You'll see the listing brokerage name. You'll see their company. Down here where it says prospective tenant's address, you don't have to place their home address. The prospective tenant's telephone number and email address, you should place their information there. And then go ahead and save this document. You click on the little save feature there. Now you have the document saved. All right, guys. So what you need to do now is you can either download this document and have it manually signed by your tenant, or you can choose e-sign. E-sign is right up here. That those of you that pay for e-sign in Form Simplicity, you will see the e-sign option right up here. Okay. If you're going to download this, it's very simple. Just save it. Click on the X here. Click on contract to lease. And then go ahead and click on download. Download a copy to your computer and then attach it to an email and send it over to your tenant. Have them print it and sign it, or go to them in person and have them sign it. And then you're going to forward the signed contract to lease, whether it's electronically signed through e-sign, DocuSign. I don't know if you use maybe Adobe e-sign. However, you can get it e-signed, or if you got it physically signed, you're going to forward the CTL together with copies of the tenant's identification. You're going to also include the proof of income, so banking statements. You're also going to include the tenant screening and the rental application. You want to forward all of this to the listing agent and then call them and let them know that you just forwarded an offer, all right, to lease their property. Okay. They should get back to you and saying, we're going to go ahead. Thank you. We're going to go ahead and present this to the landlord. We'll let you know. Stay on top of it, guys. Don't wait a couple of days for a response. This is pretty simple. They should forward this offer to their landlord that same day. And then if the landlord is ready to rent out the property, you should have a response in less than 24 hours. Okay. Any questions on the process we just went through? Because I want to share with you real quick here the document that I just sent you. So let me go ahead and open up this document. I want to share with you on the screen the document that I just sent you via chat. So you see how well I explained it in the rental procedures. All right. So the first thing, of course, is that you want to establish communication with the renter lead. Guys, if they are already working with an elite agent, make sure that you reinforce to them that they are in great hands. We are a team, so teamwork first. You want to build rapport with them. That basically means you want to establish communication and make friends to them. Okay? Ask what properties they're interested in. Ask what their needs are. Build a search. Send them properties. Schedule to see a property at their earliest convenience. Basically, you should always be available. Of course, you want to try and work around your schedule, but you ask them, hey, are you available to see properties this afternoon? Is 3 o'clock a good time? If they say yes, then try your best to schedule an appointment to see the property at 3 p.m. If it is available and you get a confirmation, then call them back and say, hey, we are confirmed for this afternoon at 3. If the listing agent says it's not available at 3, but it's available at 6, then call them back and say, hey, client, unfortunately, it's not available at 3, but it will be available later on this evening at 6 p.m. Okay? After your client decides on a property, you want to gather the information that we just reviewed. In most cases, you need a rental application. You need proof of income, usually 3 months. You need the full tenant screening for each adult applicant over the age of 18. You need copies of their IDs, and you need the fully prepared CTL, which we just went over. Okay? Now, you're going to send all the documents to the listing agent. Guys, it's very simple. I normally will send 2 attachments. I will send the CTL standalone, and then I will combine the proof of income, the tenant screening, the rental application, and the photo IDs, and the rental application in one package. All right. There's ways, if they are all saved in your computer as a PDF, there are ways to select 5 different PDF files and combine them into one. Just make it easier for the listing agent to review and present to their seller, their landlord, sorry. All right, so once the offer is accepted, collect deposit in escrow. The escrow check should be a cashier's check or money order made out to Elite Ocean View Realty. You want to drop the check off at either the Miami Beach office or Coral Gables office and notify us. You want to send an email to elitehelpcenter@gmail.com. You want to also copy our broker Tail, and you can copy me as well. Let us know the location of the check, where you dropped off the check. On the envelope, you want to make sure that you put in the address of the property, all right, and that this is an escrow deposit. And then, of course, place your name on the envelope. We want to know it's from you. Now, we can also use the Earnest Money app. All right, go to your app stores and download Earnest. This is a very simple process on how to collect escrow deposits. Once you install the Earnest app on your phone, you want to go ahead and register. You want to say that you are an agent with Elite Ocean View Realty. It's going to connect you to the Elite Ocean View Realty escrow account. And then all you need to do is invite your landlord to electronically deposit the earnest money or the escrow deposit into the app. And it usually takes between 24 and 48 hours for the money to be processed. And in the escrow account for Elite Ocean View Realty, you will then request an escrow letter from Elite Help Center. All right, so if you don't want to deal with cashier's checks and money orders, then use the Earnest Money app. If your landlord does not want to trust technology and they don't want to go through paperless deposits and paperless checks, then of course you're going to have to collect the check physically from them. Remember, it is your duty to bring that escrow check to our office immediately. Do not hold on to that check for multiple days. So as soon as you recover, get the check, let's say you go and you collect the check today, try it the most possible to have the check at our office by tomorrow. Okay. In the event that there is a fast move in, so for example, if I'm placing an offer today and we're moving in 7 days from now, perhaps what we can do is not collect the escrow and collect all the funds at move-in. Get the lease agreement signed. Yes.
Sorry about that. Quick question. Can they also come to the office with you to drop off the check?
Like you bring them with you? Yeah. I mean, if you're hanging out with them, maybe. They don't need to come with you. No, they don't need to come with you.
But safer, you never know. That's why I asked.
They should trust you as professional real estate agents. They should trust you. It's going to Elite Ocean View Realty. They're going to get an escrow letter themselves. So I don't see why they should come to our office. But of course, you can always bring your clients to our office. You can sit with your clients in our office, in our conference room. You can talk to them. You can show them presentations. This is your office. Okay?
Because, okay, it's fine. All right, cool. Thank you. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. All right. All right, guys. So as I was saying, if this is a quick move-in and there's no time for us to collect escrow and escrow letters and everything, then all the funds can be collected at move-in day. $2,800 will be written to Elite Ocean View Realty, and the other 2 months will be written towards the landlord. Bring the check with you to our office, drop it off at one of our offices, and on the envelope, you're going to put in the lease agreement. You're going to put in the check, and you're going to write on the envelope, closing, rental closing. And then, of course, put your name and put the property address. You're going to email our transaction coordinator, right? You're going to email our transaction coordinator and let them know that you just closed on a rental and the money is in the Coral Gables office or the Miami Beach office. All right. But prior to that, guys, I skipped because I went to the quick move-in. So if there's no quick move-in, if you're doing this, a month in advance or 15 days in advance, then it's pretty much collect the escrow check, bring it, let us know, and then we move on to the next step. The next step is to sign the lease agreement. So usually the landlord agent is going to present to you the lease agreement, and you're going to have your tenant sign the lease agreement. Have them read it, have them sign it. Once the lease agreement is signed, then you're going to schedule a walkthrough. The walkthrough is usually the move-in date. You're going to take with you a walkthrough inspection form. Guys, if you don't have a walkthrough inspection form, please reach out to Help Center, Elite Help Center at gmail.com, or reach out to me. I will send you a copy of the Elite walkthrough inspection form. Okay. So at walkthrough, you're basically going to go over everything that comes with the property. If there's any issues with the property, you're going to document those issues. Okay. You're going to go ahead and also send transaction coordinator, and you can copy Theo, a disbursement form, a completed disbursement form. Once again, every Monday, transaction coordinator or Elite will send us an email with instructions, including a copy of the disbursement form. The disbursement form must be filled out and must be turned in 24 to 48 hours prior to move-in date, guys. You have to give us an opportunity to prepare the check that you're going to give to the co-broker. We are holding escrow. We are paying the other broker their commission. We will pay you your commission through direct deposit, but we have to give the other broker their commission check. So by submitting a disbursement form, you're going to see that we are holding escrow and that you need a check cut for $2,800 divided by 2, $1,400 in the name of ABC Realty, right? And that check will be taken with you on your move-in date. You need to pass by one of our offices, pick up the check, and take it with you on the day of move-in. So a check will be prepared for the listing office and left at one of the offices for you to pick up. Okay. At walkthrough, guys, collect the Elite transaction fee of $95 from your client if you did not already collect it through the deposit. If you already collected the $95 in the deposit, then there's no need for you to collect a check from your client. Leave the $95 check at one of our offices. Okay. You want to send the walkthrough inspection form to our Elite transaction coordinator, also copy Theo, and congratulations, you will then get paid your commission. As a reminder, we pay our commissions on Tuesdays and Fridays. So the cutoff date,
Robert,
yes.
another
Yeah.
is it 2 cents that will be written, or is this a total of the deposit plus the 95?
Can you ask that again? Because it's you're cutting out a little bit.
All right. So is it checks that will be written, one for $95 in the deposit, or is it the deposit plus the $95?
That's a great question. So if they're going to give you cashier's checks, then I would recommend that they just write one check, because we're going to keep the other one. We're going to keep the $95 in our account.
Okay, so one check just do the total, the deposit plus the $95. That's there, right?
Correct.
All right, thank you.
Now, of course, if they're going to give you the $95 at walkthrough, then all you need to bring with them on walkthrough is a check for $95 and a check for the landlord for the 2 months. Okay.
Okay.
All right, perfect. Guys, so as I was saying, as a reminder, we pay our commissions on Tuesdays and Fridays, and the cutoff date for you to get paid on Tuesday is Sunday night, and the cutoff date for you to get paid on Friday is Wednesday night. You gotta have all the documentation in by those deadlines in order for you to get paid on the next commission pay date, which is either Tuesday or Friday. All right, and this document I shared with you has a template on how to fill out the CTL, guys. Everything in red is required. Follow through with this, practice, just like I did with Michael Jordan, and you guys should have no issues at all filling out a contract to lease. And with this video, you should have no issues at all working with a renter. Okay? So, does anyone here have any other questions? I think that we went through this quite smoothly and we covered all the bases. Does anyone have any questions on how we're going to work with a renter? We're all good?
No, fantastic presentation, Robert. Real quick, why is there a new disbursement? I've never used a disbursement form, but why is a new one sent out every week? Does it change, or are you guys just sending it out?
We send it every Monday. So basically, they should just remove the word new. I'll let them know to remove the word new. Every Monday, we send you a disbursement form because somehow, some way, someone's gonna ask for it on Wednesday and Thursday, and they're wondering where they can get a disbursement form. Just know that every Monday we send out a disbursement form, and we also send out instructions on how to collect escrow deposits and also instructions on how to close a rental.
Robert,
Perfect. Thank you.
Count on that email every Monday as a reminder, not because we have new changes to the policies. It's just as a reminder.
Robert,
Perfect. Thank you.
Yes.
we don't have a centralized location for these documents, like a website where we could go and grab them.
So we're working on creating on our website a members only area where we're gonna go ahead and upload those documents.
Okay.
One question, Robert.
Yes.
You need to send application for every different address. Te voy a explicar en español. Si yo tengo un cliente que vio un apartamento y fue rechazado y puede hacer la aplicación. Si voy a ver otro apartamento, ¿tiene que hacer otra aplicación también?
No. So te lo digo en español y después lo digo en inglés, ¿ok? So, la
A ver.
aplicación de renta solamente tú la colectas y toda la información como la prueba de los ingresos y el tenant screening y te sirve para cualquier oferta que tú uses.
Ok, entonces no tengo que poner entonces la dirección
Correct.
exacta de la propiedad.
Correct. Yeah.
Ok, perfecto.
So the question was, does the rental application work for any offer that we choose? So let's say that you fill out a rental application and you collected all the documents and they get rejected. The offer gets rejected. You can use the same rental application and all the proof of income and tenant screening for your next offer. All right, so you don't have to get it done again. All right.
Perfecto.
All right, perfect, guys. So I am going to share this recording with you later.
Robert, quick.
Yes.
Sorry, another question. The paper you were reading earlier, where do I find that?
I sent it to you guys via the chat right earlier. I'm gonna go ahead and send it to you again.
Okay, appreciate it.
So I'll stay on so you guys can download the document, but it is uploaded to the chat right now. So if you are on a computer, go ahead and go to the chat, download the document. If you're on your phone, go ahead and click on the document, download it to your phone, and now the document is yours. If you're not able to download the document, please reach out to me and I'll forward you the document. Luisa, you have a question.
Hi, Robert. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I have a question on walkthrough because I've had a couple issues with that, as you probably know. When exactly do we do the walkthrough? Is it when we pick up the key? And if we see issues with the apartment on that day, how long does the landlord have to fix those issues? And what if they don't?
That's a great question. So if they don't fix it, then you don't have to agree to move in. So
No, after you moved in though, because if you pick up the key, you're
After-
moving in already.
after you move in, after your tenant moves in, now it becomes a relationship between the tenant and the landlord. You are out of the deal completely. Your deal ends at walkthrough. So your deal.
Well, yeah, sorry. It's
So
just it's actually happening to me.
if your tenant agrees with the landlord that everything is acceptable and that the landlord is going to fix said thing, then your tenant agreed to move in, and now the landlord needs to come through, but the tenant needs to follow up with the landlord.
Yeah.
There's nothing we can do. It's basically that's it. We're out of the deal. We're handing it off over to the tenant to now deal with anything that breaks with the landlord. Remember, the walkthrough is for the tenant to approve the conditions of the home so they can move in. They can actually get
So-
to the walkthrough and say not acceptable, and then just
So
don't.
let's say if they see the things, the issues that are wrong with the place,
They have
yet
to pull. They
they
have to pull
still
out.
want to, and if they still want to move in, can they give them certain amount of time? How would, like, if they really want the place?
I don't know. Give them 3 days. Give them do some type of agreement.
Okay.
It depends on your tenant how urgent they need to move in. In some cases,
Got it.
the movers are right behind the tenant with all the furniture. So
Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
you're welcome. All right, folks, wrapping it up. All right, so everybody good? Yes, I think that is a yes. All right, guys, I'm gonna share the recording with you later this afternoon. So thank you so much for attending our Working with Renters training, and let's get busy. Let's go help out our clients. All right, have a great day, everyone.
Thanks, Robert.
Thank
Absolutely.
you, Robert.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Robert.
All
Thank
right.
you.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.